time, folks. Hello and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, to an episode kind of haphazard in your face today. And we are talking about a police department in Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County to be exact. Sandy Springs. Big shout out to the folks in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Now, for those that do not know, your dear old Prince Magnum has gotten back into, of all things, independent investigation again. And that is quite a story in itself. We got, that's where the Men of Action series has been really shining. So let's make sure that chat is rocking and rolling. Let's see. Chat filter. Yeah. All messages. There we go. We're ready. So if you're just joining us, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Missouri. And through the week, my younger brother, Danny, who finally kind of got himself together, I guess you could say. Hi, honey. Baby, if you do the honors and make sure this is shared out to Facebook and all the other usual sites. This one's a big one. Now, we were going to talk about, there's going to be a video on this case, but I figured we'd go ahead and get the process started now because my brother, he made a few bad choices. Hey, we all make mistakes, right? And he married a gal that was supposed to be a very successful business woman, which she is. But I guess her business isn't what it once was. Things happened, you know. Hey, who am I? Oh my gosh. NTP. Okay, well, welcome to the live stream. Hello, hello. We're going to be kind of going over some things. If you live in Sandy Springs, Georgia, know anyone who lives there, you definitely need to be in this live stream. Okay? Yes, I said hi too. Oh, did you? Well, hello, hello. Who we got here as well? Ryan Goldenboy, welcome to the live stream. Good to see everybody today. We're going to give it a couple more minutes before we get underway, okay? And while you're at it, could you also send this link to the Sandy Springs, their police department directly? You'll be able to on Facebook. Thank you, honey. Best wife in the world, okay? We're going after corruption, folks. Now, I mean, we got enough of it up here in Missouri. Missouri is the most communist place on the state. What's this about? Well, we're going to be getting to that, okay? So just, it takes a few minutes for everyone to kind of make their way in. So right now, we're just kind of killing a few minutes. At about by the 5-minute mark, we get underway, okay? No question about it, all right? So we're going to get underway. We're going to talk about police corruption in Sandy Springs, Georgia. And we're going to talk about how they do not like when the people are fed up. And this is one of the people that are fed up. Even though I don't live in Georgia, it involves a family member, okay? So just kind of bear with me a second, all right? Frickin' people. Greed. Greed is not the root of all evil. The lack of money and people who want more than they need. Know what I'm saying? But anyhow, so yes, just kind of make yourself at home. This is going to be a wild ride. But dear old Prince Magnum has gotten back involved in independent criminal investigation. Okay? And I've even had to kick some ass lately because police departments are not doing their job. Okay? Sometimes they're on the take, or sometimes they're just, they need to dot their I's and cross their T's. Greetings from Russia. I highly doubt you're in the Russian mafia, but okay, if you want to cosplay here, I mean, I'm not here to I'm not here to look down my nose at anybody. You cosplay all you want. All right? How's that sound? You go ahead and cosplay. Someone claiming he's from the Russian mafia.
Who?
If he wants cosplay, I don't give a shit.
Palachi. Нет.
Hee.
Que rastos.
Okay. All right, we're just past the 5-minute marker. It's been a while since I went live on the phone. Almost forgot how to do it. Okay, folks. Let me break it down for you, for everybody who's here. Okay. We've just shared this out to Facebook, including Sandy Springs Police Department. Okay. We want them to see this. I want them to see my.
I went one better. I gave it to Spaz directly.
Okay, here it is in a nutshell. About 2 months ago, my brother's wife, who has been involved with drug trafficking in the Atlanta, Georgia area, decided that she would rather be with this other drughead type. Now, bear in mind, my sister-in-law, Kendra Pohl, she is a successful business owner, but I'm thinking that there's problems with the business for her to turn to this life of crime. Okay? Maybe she doesn't see it as a problem. Maybe, I don't know. I don't get it. But she got in with the wrong people. She's making bad decisions. And they've got kids, okay? These are not things that you want your kids to be around, okay? Any normal, sane person, let's just get that out of the way, would not want their kids around this. But she decides that she wants to be with this other junkie type, and he's running around with gangs and things like that in the Atlanta, Georgia area. My sister-in-law has a hit put out on my brother. Now, thank God these guys are amateurs, okay? It was supposed to be a professional, but they were amateurs. And this was all caught on video, all right? Including my sister-in-law's reaction. She didn't try to stop anything. She claims she did. That was a falsified in a police report. By the way, all of this leads back to my sister-in-law, and she's still walking the streets right now. I want y'all to know, okay, straight up honest, my sister-in-law, Kendra Pohl, who put a hit out on my brother, running drugs, they've caught her with all of this, okay, is still walking the streets. Now, some of you might be asking the question, well, that doesn't make sense. If she's allowed to walk the streets, why, did she bond out? No, they never arrested her. Why? That's a good question now, isn't it? Now let's move up to recent current events, all right? My brother, who got their house under a VA loan, he was told to go back there and live there. She paid off a judge. We're very sure of that. But a different judge overturns and allows my sister-in-law to go back. The police department goes to remove my brother from the property. They swatted him, okay? Now, bear in mind, there was a hit put out on him. He was shot a grand total of 5 to 7 times. His arm was actually broken. There was police brutality involved, okay? They arrested my brother, and they attempted to break his cell phone because at the time when this would have been the person who did this. Her name is Kendra Pohl, lives in the Sandy Springs area of Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County to be precise, okay? So if you live in that area, you know who to avoid, okay? She's running around with all the drug head types. For the record, she is not the brightest. I mean, she's a great, savvy business owner, but she's not the brightest, okay? I will give her all the props for being an amazing business owner, but the economy sucks, so I guess she turned to drugs, okay? Now, if the police department and a dirty judge were involved, okay, that means that the Sandy Springs Police Department is involved. Now, I have told them that if they do not handle this properly, that I was going to come up there and make citizens arrest. They then threatened that they would attack and subdue me, which obviously if there's police brutality involved, we know what that is. Where does she live? I just said it. Sandy Springs, Georgia, near the Atlanta, Georgia area, Fulton County. Come on, folks. This train's got to keep going, all right? You know, huh?
Don't ask.
Okay. That's where it is. Oh, by the way, Vampire Money 666. I like that name. That is awesome. Okay. So keep up with the train, folks. All right. So, am I going to have to do like we did in England and organize a brute squad to take care of the problem? Possibly. We had to do that not too long ago in England, which the video on that's going to be coming out in probably the next couple of weeks. Sandy Springs doesn't like the fact that I had told them that I will protect myself if I have to make a citizen's arrest of their police officers. Hello there. Well, you kind of said it the first time. Yes. So they don't like that thought. They don't like the thought that their officers are dirty, and they threaten me, and I told them that I'll defend myself. I said, if I go to make a citizen's arrest and you guys fight me on it, I said, dead or alive, you're going to jail, okay? And he didn't like that. He's like, oh, you're threatening us. I said, no, I just said I'm protecting myself. I said, your officers, you said hi already. Come on, man. Hop on the train, brother. All righty. You said hi already. Get on the train. We're taking a ride, if you will. So, folks, this is where we get boots on the ground, okay? If you live in Sandy Springs and you've been a victim of this, do you feel safe? Do you feel safe if you live in Sandy Springs? That's a damn good question, isn't it? Do you feel safe? Come on, folks. If you lived in an area where the police are helping keep the drug dealers on the streets, that means that they're the muscle for the drug dealers. And then they'll lock up innocent people. Okay? Would you feel safe in an environment like that? Wouldn't you want someone to come and start arresting those officers? Folks, I live in the Midwest, close to the the old South. Okay? You go down to the Boot Heel, step over that border, you're in Arkansas. That used to be, that's the South, okay? You don't tolerate that. You don't tolerate that. You got that message?
Yep.
Okay.
I saw it.
Really? Go ahead and eliminate him.
Yep.
But that is the way it is, okay? That is the way it is. So here it is, folks. It has nothing to do with race, religion, color, ethnic background. Sometimes people just do bad things. And when you take some of those bad people doing bad things and put badges on them, what do you got? Okay? You got a society that isn't very civilized. So, Sandy Springs. This is me explaining because your sergeant didn't like the fact that you guys are in trouble, okay? I'm going to have to, at this rate, I'm going to have to come all the way down there and do you guys' job because you can't, okay? I'm wondering what the governor would be saying right about now. I wonder what the governor would be saying right now. That I got to do your job. A civilian who's had a stroke is supposed to be retired, okay? And I got to come down there and do your fucking job? You pieces of dog shit. Okay? You guys fucking suck. It's police officers like you guys in Sandy Springs that make police officers look bad. That's what guys like me have to fight against every day to, actually protect the blue, okay? It's guys like me who've got to step up for those officers and do something, because most of the time, good officers are hamstringed because the police departments don't want to admit that their officers are dirty, okay? That's what it boils down to. I'm gonna have to come down there to Atlanta, put boot to ass, because you guys won't. I'm gonna start with your police chief first. He's gonna have to answer to the sheriff. Is that what it's gonna be? I won't become a police officer. They need someone who isn't in a badge, who won't play the game. You wear a badge, you put a target on yourself for corruption. Either you end up corrupt or you end up getting attacked by the corrupt. They need someone outside of who doesn't wear a badge to fight for those officers who aren't corrupt. That's what it boils down to, okay? That's what it boils down to. Good police officers need someone willing to fight for them. It wasn't that long ago. Everyone remembers the story. And we're going to be talking about that in an upcoming video, where I actually helped law enforcement right here in Missouri chase down 2 guys breaking into people's cars. It wasn't but maybe a month ago. I had someone run up to the front door screaming, "Someone's trying to kill me." And I had to help law enforcement then, okay? Hey, let's get a brute squad together. Obviously, these dirty police officers have got to... You can't leave it to the FBI anymore. The FBI can't even do the damn Epstein files properly. Okay, it's up to the civilians. Okay, it's up to the civilians. It's always been that way. We just gave that ability to law enforcement in the name of civilization, when in reality, okay, we're not civilized. We're just sheep. Okay? That's the reality of it, okay? We gave them that ability, but there obviously many police officers out there are not taking that, taking that whole attitude the right way. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are like that. There are good police officers. I've met many of them. Matter of fact, there's a sheriff's deputy that regularly patrols my neighborhood, and he's a fine gentleman. If that man was ever in trouble, Deputy Anthony of St. Francis County. Oh, my phone won't do that, but I'm probably going to get them on the phone and ask questions. I'm going to straight up tell them. I'm going to ask questions. Yeah, they don't want me to do that. I'll call the prosecutor. Yeah, they don't want me to do that. So these guys are afraid. Well, unfortunately, my phone won't do that. Okay, my phone won't do that. It can't do that. But we're going to do that in an actual video. Neighbors having problems. As long as they're okay, then, that sort of thing. But that's what it boils down to, folks. That's what it boils down to, okay? Where was I? Oh, yeah, Deputy Anthony of St. Francis County Sheriff's Department, okay? I'm going to tell you straight up, if that man was ever in trouble, if he was ever pinned down, hurt, wounded, whatever, I'd take a bullet for that man, okay? I'd straight up take a bullet for that man. All right? That's how much I appreciate good police officers, all right? I'll tell anybody that, all right? Those officers, they've got families, they've got loved ones, that sort of thing. They're good people, okay? They're good people. They're just trying to do a job, and they're trying to serve the community. Who's with me on that? Good police officers deserve the civilians' protection. They deserve it. We are their shield. They deserve it. Who's with me on that? All right. This whole thing with Sandy Springs, it's a RICO case, even though it's never a RICO case. It's a RICO case. All right. We've got a corrupt judge. We've got a corrupt police department, and we've got gang violence and a drug ring. Okay. Gang violence and a drug ring. All of them tied together, and unfortunately, my brother got caught in the middle of it. Thank God he's alive, he's well, he's doing okay, all right? Thank goodness for that, right? The loved ones are alive and well, and that sort of thing, okay? Who's with me? So we're gonna get eventually we're gonna get them on the phone, and I'm gonna ask them a couple questions. All right, we're gonna, and I might just go ahead and go to their prosecutor. Okay, but they don't like the fact that a civilian's willing to put cuffs on an officer, haul them in, so their police can stand trial. Officers like that hide behind that badge. Dirty police officers, folks. A dirty police officer is still a criminal, okay? Let's get that through our heads. A dirty police officer is still a criminal. All right? I shouldn't have to do their job. They should do their job. But if I have to do their job, I'll do what's necessary, okay? Maybe it's time that they get their heads out of their tail ends and start doing right by the people. People from Sandy Springs, Vampire Money. I still like that name. That's awesome, Vampire Money. What would the currency for vampires be? That's a good question. I mean, I know there's that theory that I'm one, but I've never heard of vampire currency, you know? Who's with me on that? You know? That's a good question. But anyhow, before we roll off on a weird tangent, Sandy Springs, I know you're watching. Sandy Springs Police Department, especially that sergeant that wants to try to say, oh, I threaten you guys. That's not a threat. I have a right to protect myself against all enemies, foreign and domestic, because guess who was actually supposed to serve in the United States Navy? Even though I didn't get to serve, I still took the oath. And I still take that oath very seriously, Sergeant. So under that oath, to protect my country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, you are domestic. Because if you're willing to do this to my brother, your department, the real question is, how many other people are you guys doing this to? Now, I don't know if you yourself, Sergeant, are involved, but if you're not, then you need to come forward and say so instead of trying to protect your so-called brothers, because that's how people get into trouble, by protecting people that they know are bad. That's just common sense, son. Two wrongs don't make a right. Do the right thing. If you know your brothers in arms are doing wrong, then you have a moral obligation to do the right thing. That is my threat, okay? That is my so-called threat that you didn't want to hear. But now it's out there for the entire world. People all the way as far as England know that Sandy Springs is involved with drug trafficking in the Atlanta, Georgia area. How does that make you feel, Sergeant? We have the information coming in by the end of the day, which will be used in the video series to expose Sandy Springs. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing at all. And once your government in the state of Georgia sees this, who do you think they're going to turn to? Yes, I am legal. Again, under the oath of office that I didn't get to serve, I still took that oath. All enemies, foreign and domestic, Sergeant. This is domestic terrorism. Do your job, or I will do it for you. You have 1 week. Because the citizen's arrest doesn't have to involve me coming to Georgia. Oh no. See, I have the power of a camera. I have the strength right now. Even a move you guys make right now would look awfully suspicious, wouldn't it? See? You didn't think this through, did you, son? And you threatened me, wanting to try to use your so-called power. You have none. The people gave you your power. The people are taking it back. See how that works? See how it works, Sandy Springs? Sergeant of Sandy Springs. I haven't bothered with your name. I'm giving you a chance to do the right thing. Make no mistake. I don't have to raise a finger. The people will do it for me. And since this is all over Facebook now and Discord and all across England, how many people you think now aren't going to be willing to fight back? Dead or alive, your officers are under arrest. See how that works? I didn't have to lift a finger. And because I'm protecting my country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. You have an angry mob on your hand now. Do the right thing. There's no need for anyone to get hurt. Don't y'all feel better now? The power is always in the hands of the people. We just gave it to people that we're supposed to trust. No different than, when we elect a president or congressman. We gave them that power to represent us. We gave the power to the police to represent the public trust for the better good of the community. If they're not respecting that, they don't deserve the badge. And if anyone gets hurt in the process, they deserve to be treated actually more harshly than a civilian because they're supposed to know the law. Unfortunately, we live here in the United States and they don't prosecute the guilty. Not like they should. For the record, again, even though I'm in the process of repairs, that car right there, back in 2016, helped the Bonne Terre City Police Department chase down 2 thieves, and those guys got 2 years apiece. Last I heard, they got the picture. By the way, the police departments in the area have thanked me and that car for doing the right thing. Well, all except Farmington, but that's another story for another video. Okay? People are tired of it, And right now here in Missouri, for those that do not know, there's a lot of people also keep talking more and more about Skidmore, Missouri. Skidmore is actually the safest place here in Missouri. The reason being is back in 1980, the FBI still has an open case trying to figure out who shot the town bully. There's a ton of videos on it, but that's not that far away. Mrs. and I have often joked, said, maybe we should move to Skidmore. Even though the population's dwindling, but Skidmore don't play. They will fight back. And nobody knows anything to this day. It's just kind of how it is. So, but a lot more people, because of how the police departments have been getting here in Missouri, for the record, have been screaming maybe there needs to be more Skidmore incidents. So, folks, again, do the right thing, okay? If you live in Sandy Springs, Georgia, and you're sick and tired of living in fear of the drug problems and everything, you're going to have to fight back. You're going to have to fight back. You're going to have to take it back from the police department. They're not going to like it. They're not going to like it. They're going to fight you. But that's the reality of it, okay? You know, and for the record, let me also remind you all, okay? Nationalized citizens have to take an oath, all right? And in the oath, it also says to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, the one for the military is slightly different, but that line is there for a reason. It is our duty to uphold, you know, the rights, the privileges, you know, everything. We are to protect our country. And if you have a police department like this, that is domestic terrorism, okay? Just on a different, the only difference is they're wearing a badge claiming they're legal, okay? So when I explain this to you guys have a moral obligation, okay? If you live in the United States and you're a legal citizen, you have a moral obligation. If you chose to live here after the age of 18, you have a moral obligation. So if you guys kind of see where this is going, I'm not necessarily inciting an insurrection, but I'm inciting protect your community. It is your legal right. If you don't believe me, why do you think they can't get rid of that Second Amendment? Okay, it's there for a reason. So just kind of bear with me on that. I know some people are like, what? I know it sounds kind of strange. It's like, you know, how does that work? But there's really not a whole lot to it, okay? It's just, if you live here in the United States, you're to uphold the principles of the Constitution of the United States. That's just, and some of the principles are, you know, if, you know, defending your country. If you have someone who is going against the principles and the laws of the country, obviously drugs are a problem. And we don't want them here because they're a problem. And if your police department's involved, that means they're breaking the law. It is your duty as a civilian of the United States to stand up for yourself. Don't like to hear that. And if they're breaking the law and they start shooting,
You're lagging.
I'm lagging? Okay.
Keep walking underneath the roof.
Oh, all right. Thank you, honey. That better?
Yep.
Okay. Smoky smoke. So just kind of understand that there is a legal precedency, and you know, you have to defend. It is your moral obligation to defend your community, and that's what they don't like hearing. Dirty police officers do not like to hear they're doing wrong, okay? And that you're willing to take action. They don't like to hear it. They'll say you're threatening them. Why do you feel threatened? If you're not doing anything wrong, why do you feel threatened? Duh. Duh. It's like, duh. If you're not doing anything wrong, why do you feel threatened? Folks, this is all common sense stuff, okay? Sandy Springs, I've got the information coming. There's a video coming out about you. Give me a couple days, okay? I'll even have the badge numbers because I know if I just present it to you guys for internal affairs, somehow it'll get lost, won't it, Sergeant? You know that. Come on. You know how this thing goes. I honestly don't think you're involved, but I think your feelings, your fifis got hurt because guys you know are dirty, and that bothers you. And it bothers you that someone without a badge found out. Just means someone's doing a good job for you. And if you are a good police officer, like I might actually believe you are, hey, son. Good to see you, son. If you get, son, well, I'll have to explain to you. Sandy Springs just tried to hurt your uncle. And police brutality. This all should sound familiar, doesn't it, son? Police brutality, and they're protecting the guilty. Should sound familiar, shouldn't it? Where have we seen this before, son? This is why your old dad knows he's got to start putting boot to ass anymore. He's got to put boot to ass. People don't like to do right. Yep, why am I not surprised? See what I mean? People suck. Folks, I don't need to remind you, okay? If you're out there, son, if you got, get this out to all your friends as well, okay? I know eventually it'll get to more people in Sandy Springs. Make sure you drop this to everyone. We're gonna put a stop to this, okay? Sandy Springs is on notice. They've got 1 week before I start pushing harder and making their lives miserable. Because if you want, unfortunately, I'm gonna quote a movie, Sigvis Pacem Parabellum, Latin. If you want peace, you have to prepare for war. And unfortunately, the civilians of Sandy Springs might have to go to war. May not be with guns, but it's gonna take them to stand up and make this right. Hope it doesn't come to guns, but I got a feeling that the police department's not gonna go quietly. Yep, see? Ain't that the truth? You remember what movie that's from, right? Punisher, 2004, for those that don't know. Let's get the word out. It's time to clean up the police department. That's how you do it, folks. Sandy Springs, civilians there. You guys need me to come there and organize and help you do it. I'll be willing to do it. You know how to reach me now. If there's any of you watching right now that want your community safe again, I'll be glad to help. Wouldn't be the first time I've organized something that made a state stand up and do the right thing. Isn't that right, Missouri state government? For those that don't know, they're still talking about the guy who actually helped the unions organize. Yeah. If the people of Sandy Springs want me to come, and I'm talking the civilians, want me to come out there and help them organize and start bringing dirty police officers to justice, we'll do it. And for the record, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office is fully aware of the situation and are willing to back us up. That's what they don't like. Other badges backing up a civilian movement who want their community back. And for my soon-to-be ex-sister-in-law, if you didn't want to be with my brother, why didn't you just get a divorce? But we already know that you had gotten a life insurance policy and you were trying to collect. You're a savvy businesswoman and you've built a very large corporation. Why did you turn to drugs? We've caught you on camera. We know your movements. I've had you tracked for the past 2 months. Sis, if you didn't want to be part of this family anymore, why didn't you get honest? Okay, that would have at least been completely and totally forgivable. But you wanted to move on and do different things. But number one, why are you putting my nieces and nephews to that sort of stuff? And number two, why couldn't you be honest? That seems to be a thing these days, where people can't look another person in the eye and be honest with them. That seems to be a thing. Honesty seems, whatever happened to the old school attitude of just being honest? I guess that went out years ago. That's a thing of the past, right? Who's with me on that, folks? She claims she's a tough African-American woman, and she couldn't even look her own husband in the eye and say it's over. Instead, she had to try to take him out with a very shitty hitman. Amateurs at best. Okay. There you go. See, son? You get it. All right? Be straight up, be honest, be real. Okay? Whatever happened to people doing that? Hell, everyone always thanks me for the fact that I don't pull my punches and I tell it as it is. Tell it straight from the heart. Okay? And even if I was a threatening SOB to that police department, you can't really be upset. That would be a crime of passion. Remember, folks, when my brother Danny was in Iraq and they dropped a mortar shell in on his position, Iraqi insurgents, and I found out he took shrapnel. It took 12 people and 3 days to talk me out of going over to Iraq and finding those insurgents and showing them why you don't mess with my little brother. Because the only one who's going to be kicking my little brother's ass is me. Get it? Me. And that, by the way, my brother actually laughed about that. He said, really? The only one's going to be kicking my ass is you, huh? I said, you're damn right. I said, I don't care how old you get. The only one who's going to be kicking your ass is me. And he's like, spoken like a big brother. You know, that's my little brother, you know. I was actually going to go over there and handle business myself, you know. And so they're like, it's an active war zone. I said, I don't give a shit. Son, that's the way brothers are supposed to be. I know it's been a screwed up life that you and I both have had to live the last several years, but I'm going to tell you straight up, son, that's what brothers do. We fight for each other. You know, your brother Danny and I haven't always, you know, well, your Uncle Danny and I haven't always been on the best speaking terms, but I'm going to tell you what, that damn guy, I know if anything was wrong with me, he'd be right there. And he knows that I'm going to fight tooth and nail on his behalf. Don't engage any law enforcement. Motherfucker, you guys hurt my brother. You're lucky I don't come up there and and demolish the whole fucking town. Okay? That's brotherly love. And if my brother's watching, he's laughing his ass off like that is my brother. He don't give a damn. Why? Because that's what brothers do. So, again, son, it's going to be I'm giving my son a lesson right here, if you will. My son, my son, I'm giving him a lesson right here. That's what family does. We fight for each other. Unless that family member's in the wrong, then we try to straighten them out so they're right. We take care of family. All right? We take care of them. We show them. Again, Sandy Springs Police Department, you know the ones that are doing bad, you might as well just turn yourselves in. It's over. And start telling your accomplices. The organization has begun. The people know. Sandy Springs civilians, if you want your community back, you know how to reach me. That's how this works. You know how to reach me. We'll take it back by any means we have to. And what do I want in return? I'm a Native American. I'm a Native American, okay? The North American continent is known as Turtle Island to all of us Native Americans. This is our home too. This is our home. Like it, love it, or hate it, this is our home. Okay? It's our home. We have the right to protect it. My brother is a Native American as well. My son is a Native American as well. My 2-year-old that's taking a good nap right now, or if you ever watched the Smurfs in the 80s, she's having a good nap. The missus is looking at me like I got 3 heads and a tail, like, did you just really do that? Good nap, good nap. That's an old episode of the Smurfs from back in the 80s. She's in there taking a nap right now, but she's Native American, okay? We're some of the last remaining members of the Pima Indians. This is our home too. we have to fight for it. We have to fight for what's ours. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, brown, green. You live here in the United States and you're supposed to be here. This is your home. You're supposed to protect it. And the real question is, with the advent of the internet, the internet, how in the world can we draw lines where where our community stops and where it begins? The lines are awfully blurred now. So now that we can reach out and communicate with each other from across the globe, community isn't just, what's on your city block. Community is worldwide. We're all brothers and sisters. This is our home, and we must protect what is ours. Okay? So that's from the heart. Sergeant in Sandy Springs, that you can take to the bank. That is true. That's what, by the way, if you took off that badge, clean the cotton out of your ears, instead of trying to talk like you're a big shot, you might have heard that, but you didn't want to hear it. And now look at you. Looking kind of dumb right now. It's okay. Everyone has a moment. I'll let it slide. But I'm going to warn you. The rest of your officers have been put on notice. If they don't want to be arrested, they need to turn themselves in. If they don't turn themselves in, I'm organizing. Do your job. That's all I got to say. Bottom of my heart. If you're a good man like I think you might be, because you spoke with the passion of a good man, you get it. You get it. But that's what it takes. It's good people. All right? I think you might be one. But I think too much of you trying to protect the wrong people got in your head. So I'll let that slide. It's still brotherhood. Just sometimes when family fucks up, you got to kick family's ass. And I think you can understand that. My brother made a mistake marrying a lunatic gal. If that was his only crime, shit, I think everyone out there marrying the wrong person, that's been a mistake. I think I married the wrong person once. Got a good one now. She puts up with me. I see her over there grinning. She puts up with my shit. But straight up honest. I think he might be one of the better ones. I'm gonna leave his name out of it for now. If he's who I think he might be, after talking to him and him getting as passionately upset as he was, I hope he's thinking. I hope he's thinking about doing the right thing. I think he knows more than he'll lead on. And I think he's surrounded by a lot of bad people. Son, I've got stories to tell you from before you were born. When that time comes, it'll be my turn to sit down and tell you about some of the horrible places I've been and the horrible things that I've done. I'm grateful to be alive, because I shouldn't be from all the stupid crap I've done. But thank God I'm still here. And you'll find as you get older, you make a lot bigger mistakes than that. Remember, folks, it's no crime to love your community. It's no crime to do the right thing. People of Sandy Springs and anywhere else in the world that is suffering under the jackboot of corruption, you don't have to live that way anymore. It is your community. You have the right to fight back. Under that civilian oath, it is your civil duty to fight back. Domestic terrorism. Unfortunately, it's a thing. If you want a safe community, you've got to be proactive. I actually had to do an investigation case that took me, not physically, but took me across the pond. The people of UK, if you're watching, I may not have ever been in the United Kingdom, into England, Scotland, Ireland, or all the wonderful places up there. I may not have ever been there, but you guys are my second home. I love your country. I love the people in your country. And we had to do some tough things, make some tough decisions. And we stopped a child predator for now. It is up to the police departments up there to do their job. And I mean do their job. We did the right thing. To that radio station that's in Blackpool, if you got questions, I'll be glad to answer it. It's time we take our communities back. If you live on planet Earth, you live in a community, take your communities back. Okay? I'm not saying overthrow your governments. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if your local government's corrupt and you can turn a blind eye, you're just as guilty as the rest of them. You can't. Your people, your neighbors, your kids, they live there. You got to do what's right. I think I've ranted and raved long enough. Hell, I'm running out of steam. I think we've nailed it on the head, reminding folks, and even police officers, good police officers out there. Again, that particular sergeant I talked to at Sandy Springs, I think he gets it. Doing the right thing. Unfortunately, just because I don't wear a badge doesn't mean I'm not on the side of law. It means that I'm on the side of the people, the public trust. Just like you're supposed to be. I'm going to assume that you are. As I said, you talked with a passion that says that you should be. Stop protecting those so-called brothers in that department. They'll hamstring you in a heartbeat if they think that you're a threat to the money that they're making. Greed, it's an ugly thing. And I say that with love. I'm pretty sure you understand. Now that being said, comes to the spot where I remind you guys, Patreon, Teespring, support the channel, blah, 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 like a lot of content creators. Drop a like. If you didn't like it, drop 2 dislikes, okay? Hit that dislike button twice. See what I did there? And of course, regardless of where you live in the world, what your job profession is, or where you fall on what side of the law, I say to you now, get out there and work on a project. Don't care what it is, just do something with yourselves. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them today. And as always, even for the corrupt police officers of Sandy Springs, Georgia, no one out there has told you that they love you today. Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.